At the recent Oakland County State of the County, Executive Dave Coulter talked about the leaps made in just the first year since the massive transportation expansion, public transportation expansion in our local area at his State of the County address. Actually, here's a bit of what he had to say here.
The local transit providers, North Oakland and Western Oakland Transportation Systems, the Older Persons Commission, and People's Express, are showing that attractive, accessible, and affordable transit options are happening now across Oakland County. And they're seeing double-digit increases in their ridership since expanding their routes and hours this last year.
And to talk a little bit more about the expansion in public transportation, specifically in the Western Oakland County area, we have the director of WOTA, Western Oakland Transportation Authority, Kim Viener, joining the Splash Live. Thank you so much for your time, Kim.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good to be here, Kevin.
Yeah, so we have a situation which Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter just recently spoke on, the expansion of this public transportation. But can you just go ahead and continuously, from your perspective, just give a little bit more insight into what we have going on with the expansion of public transportation?
Well, so far for WOTA, we have greatly expanded. Our first quarter this year is almost double what our quarter was in the first quarter of 2023, which shows that we're continuing to grow. It's definitely a needed service. We are working with the other providers to also build into being able to do transfers. So if you're a West Oakland resident, you won't be stuck in just West Oakland. You'll be able to get up into the north, the east, down into the south areas once we can get some transfers in place. We're working diligently with NOTA and OPC and PEX to make that happen. Additionally, SMART is coming down M59 through Waterford and White Lake in the near future to bring a fixed route. So WOTA will be a catalyst in making sure that that is successful and helps to grow with that, because we're going to be the ones that are going to have to get people from their residence to the actual fixed routes. Coming down 59, there's not a lot of houses in the direct vicinity that people can actually walk to those bus stops. But WOTA will be the ones to get them there and enable them to go even further, to include outside of the county in Macomb and Wayne. Currently, WOTA does go up into Flint area because we have the Holly residents, Holly, Rose, Groveland, and it doesn't make sense to bring them an hour down into, say, Novi to go to a medical appointment when their doctors are 15 minutes away in Fenton, Grand Blanc, and up in Flint. So we're really excited about this. Last year, we did expand from 4 communities to 12.
There you go.
So pretty much every community in Oakland County has some sort of base transportation. And all the areas up here in West Oakland, North Oakland are fully covered between WOTA and NOTA.
Nice. Great information to give us right there. But just from what you were saying alone, you know what I kind of concocted in my brain? This is a reflection of WOTA specifically listening to the needs of the residents and then acting on those, turning those into goals and objectives of WOTA, and then acting on those eventually. So can you just continue to elaborate on the overall goals and objectives of WOTA's transit system in general, and as it pertains to the actual expansion now, and just the future goals and objectives also?
Absolutely. So to give you a quick background, WOTA was established in 2020, January of 2020. Great year to start a business.
Right.
We existed in very small community services. So in 2020, we joined with multiple communities and formed WOTA that went from Waterford, Highland, White Lake, and Walled Lake. And even with the pandemic, we continued to run. We had a slight setback because of the pandemic, but by the end of 2020, we were back up into full swing and running just as full as we were when we originally started. In 2022, we provided 32,000 rides. In 2023, we provided 50,000 rides. This year, we're anticipating between 70 and 80,000 rides. We expanded our hours, so now we run 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. We run 7:30 to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Before the end of the year, we're anticipating opening up on Sundays, so we can get a lot of the churchgoers to where they need to go, get them out there on Sunday, go to church, have lunch, make a day of it, whatever. Because life doesn't end just because the service ends during the hours.
Good point.
When we used to run until 4:00, my life went on beyond 4:00, as everybody else's does. But when they don't have transportation, they can't get to all the places that they need to go. We have a lot of people now who are, they're really loving the service because they can go out in the morning and they can do their medical, their grocery shopping and whatnot, and then they can also go out in the evenings and go have dinner. When Lent was going on, they could get to the fish fries. Before they couldn't do that because our service and most of the service in the areas ended between 4 and 5. So expanding that out made a big difference. Also, we have a lot more drivers. We have anywhere between 25 to 30 vehicles on the road a day. We've got a staff of 62 and 2/3 of them are full-time. So we're also putting money back into the economy through the millage by hiring people with livable wages and retirement packages, full benefits. This all makes a big difference because then we're able to hire people who are local to the area to be our drivers. So they know the area, they know the dynamics of it. They know where the potholes are. They know where the slow ups are. They know the roads that wash out in heavy rains, and they can be a lot more assertive in those situations and keep WOTA going. Our plans for the future are we're going to be expanding into Sundays. In July, we're planning to kick off a pilot in White Lake, which will start on Sundays. We're currently doing a pilot in Highland for general population to see exactly how that's going to look. WOTA has a philosophy that we always want to go forward. We don't want to have to go back. So if we have to take small steps going forward until we get a firm ground of where we're at, that's what we want to do so that we don't have to get people on board and then say, oh, we can't keep doing this, so we have to back it out. That would just be devastating, especially to the majority of the people that ride us, which right now we're serving elderly 55 and up, adult disabled 18 and up, low income, and veterans of any age or status. And like I said, we're opening up in Highland to serve the general public. As we start getting numbers and figuring out how many more vehicles we're going to need on the road, how much more that's going to entail from us, then we'll start opening up to other communities. Serving a population of 200,000, it doesn't make sense to just open everything up and throw it out there without having some data first. And I really appreciate the way that the county did this they had the millage, but they allowed us as the providers to determine how to go forward. They didn't come out and say, everybody's going to do it this way, because you can't. I mean, Oakland County is so diverse. You have total suburbia and cities down in the southeast. And up here in the northeast, you have rural. You have miles upon miles before you get to a person. I like to refer to it as up here in our area, you go 10 miles to pick up one person. Down in the cities, you go 1 mile and you pick up 10 people.
People.
And
That's a good
it
one.
doesn't make that one person up here any less important. It
Correct.
actually
Good
makes
point.
them more important because they don't have sidewalks. They can't go a mile and get someplace. Up here, 10 miles doesn't even get them places
Right.
often.
Right.
And that's why we take, the northern part up out of the county and into Genesee, so that we're taking them the shortest distance and we're taking them to what they're familiar. I know myself, when I had to change doctors from moving, it's horrible to try and find a new doctor when you've been with one for many, many
Yes.
years. You just want to stay with that because that's where you feel comfortable. And, there's not a lot between Holly and getting south of Highland. So, but there's a lot of mileage.
Correct. No, you covered a lot of bases and a lot of ground with that, and you basically just answered a lot of the questions that I already had, Kim. So I appreciate you for joining us. Just lastly, very quickly, for our listeners and viewers who are watching and learning about WOTA for the first time, how can they find out a little bit more information?
So you can call 248-887-4979, or you can go on to our website, which is ridewota.org. You can register on ridewota.org. You can fill out an employment application if you're interested in driving for WOTA. We're always looking for drivers, especially now we're looking for nighttime and weekend drivers. We have to have those drivers to be able to expand. They are, they're the backbone of WOTA, and they're the ones who get the job done.
That's correct.
They're our first line of, they're our front runners. So, and we're very particular on the kind of drivers we hire. We want to make sure that they're safe and that all of our riders feel secure and feel comfortable with them. And, we're open to asking questions and filling out any of the information. If anybody needs any assistance, we can provide that as well.
Thank you again, Kim. And great. And just like you said, very particular about your drivers, as you should be. And it's a way to give back to the community as you hire them. Thank you again, Director of WOTA. We have Kim Viener on the Splash Live. We appreciate your time, Kim.
Thank you.